Hello, my name is Maggie and welcome to another Around the Ear video. Today we're going to talk about how to make a circle skirt. I'm actually going to make a half circle skirt today, but the same pattern and technique can be applied to any full circle skirt or even a 3/4 circle skirt. I think you're going to need at least a 3/4 circle, if not a full. You're going to need at least 2 meters of fabric, depending on the width. And if you're going for a full circle skirt on a narrower, like 40-inch fabric, you're going to need about 4 meters of that. You're also obviously going to need needle and thread, some closures, for example hooks and eyes, or you can use a zipper, and a sewing machine, but that's of course optional. You can also make the entire skirt by hand, but obviously that will take longer. Let's get started. We are going to fold our fabric in half to cut a quarter of a circle on the fold. To cut a quarter circle on the fold. Here I'm using an old skirt pattern to draft the waistline, but you can easily calculate the radius of your waist by dividing your waist measurement by 6.28, which is twice the number pi, which would give you the perfect waistline for a full circle skirt. But since I'm making a half circle skirt today, I will only divide my waist measurement by 3.14. My waist measurement is 65 centimeters. Divide that by 3.14 gives me 20.8 centimeters. I will subtract another centimeter or half an inch from that for seam allowance, leaving me with a radius of 19.8 centimeters for the waistline. Then, from that line, measure and mark the length of your skirt, plus 2.5 centimeter or 1 inch in combined seam allowances for the top and bottom. Now you're good to cut it all out. I'm cutting a half circle skirt on the fold here, but depending on the width of the material you're using, there are different layout options. The waistband is a strip of fabric 5 centimeters or 2 inch longer than your waist circumference and twice as wide as you'd like it to be, plus 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch seam allowance. If you wish to add pockets to your skirt, you'll have to cut out those as well. The easiest method to do that is to place your hand on the fabric and cutting around your hand with plenty of space so your hand fits comfortably in the pocket, and don't forget to add seam allowance to that as well. Now we're going to sew the sides of the skirt together. In my case there's only one side to sew together, but if you're doing a full circle skirt you're obviously going to need to have 2 seams, inserting the pockets in the side seams as we go. Next, it's time to sew the waistband. So I'm just going to fold my waistband in half so the raw edges meet and sew down each side before turning the waistband right side out, like so. Then, right sides facing, I'm going to pin my waistband to the top of my skirt and sew it in place. On the other side of the skirt, I'm going to fold the waistband seam allowance inwards and pin it to the skirt, and then sew it down by hand so no stitches will be visible on the. This stitch is called a whip stitch or a felling stitch, and you barely catch 1 or 2 threads from the outer fabric, thus leaving nearly no visible stitching at all from the outside of the skirt. Also, I'm going to be hemming my skirt by hand. You can do this by machine if you're okay with visible top stitching on the outside, but I'd rather do it by hand and get a nice invisible seam. So again, I'm rolling my hem upwards and pinning it before whip stitching that in place also. So here is the finished skirt. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, as there are plenty more videos coming up. And I'll see you in the next one.